Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry if the light's really weird because I'm filming this in the middle of the night. I don't really know why I'm awake. My sleep schedule is just very awful at the moment. And also because I'm fasting, because it's the month of Ramadan. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically like when people fast during the day and they can't eat or drink. And so I just feel very unproductive during the day and I get all my work done at night. So now it's nighttime and I get my working out in, I get my eating in, I get all my homework in, I get my filming in. So this is what we're doing. It's a very like upside down type of schedule. But the city of Dallas recently extended our stay at home quarantine order from April 30th to May 15th. And so I know for a fact that quarantine is not easy, especially for me because I don't live at home and now I am home and I want to go see my friends, and I understand that it's more important to stay home. So I'm not having a very good time, and I assume that a lot of people are in the same boat as me. So I have compiled a list on my phone of TV shows you can watch while you're bored during quarantine. And I think all of these are on Netflix. I actually don't even have a Netflix, I use my friend's. And I've used it since like freshman year of high school pretty much. So thank you, Crutch, love you. But now we're gonna get started with all these shows. A lot of these are very morbid and dark and scary, but that's just what I like. That sounds so sad. That's not what I meant. It's just what I'm into lately. So let's get started. Let's start with a lighter note. The first show I recommend you guys watch is All American. All American is like, if you've ever seen Friday Night Lights, it's basically about a high school football team and all the things that they go through, and there's like a main character and whatever. And it's a good show. I feel like there's like a plot. The plot actually happens to be my favorite part. I'll insert pictures. Pretty good plot, I think. That's why I watched it. I'm not really a big football person at all. Like, I still can't tell you what first down means, but go watch All American if you just want to have some fun. The next show I recommend is actually one that is a little bit of a documentary, and so it's based on true events, and it's really scary and crazy and creepy, but it tells you a lot about the human mind, and it's called Waco. So let me summarize it for you if you're interested. It's basically a true story about a cult near Waco, Texas in like 1993, and about a man that was leading a bunch of people in a direction that they believed in to be the truth, and the FBI kind of had a 51-day standoff with them that resulted in people dying and fires and a bunch of other stuff happened. But it's called Waco. Go watch it if you're into this kind of stuff. It's very interesting, and it shows you like people will believe anything, like even the craziest things. They'll just buy into it because they need something to believe in, which says a lot about the human mind. So I just thought that was interesting. It's only 5 or 6 episodes long, so you can totally finish it in one day, which is what I did because I have nothing else to do. So there's that. Another show that I've been watching, I actually finished this today, it's called Outer Banks. There's not really much to the show except like the people are pretty in it, I guess. That's how a lot of shows are. Outer Banks is basically about a bunch of teenagers that are trying to have a good time, and it's always summer, and they seem to have no adults or responsibilities, and if there are adults, it's just really weird. If I was like stealing boats and doing stuff, like my mom would fix me real quick, but these kids, their parents don't do that, so it's very interesting to watch. And the plot's also very interesting. Here's a picture. Haha. I have no shame lately. I think it's because of the quarantine. I'm losing my mind. That's what it is. The next show I watched, I actually finished this I think the first week of quarantine because the new season came out. So this show is called Ozark, and I've seen the first and second seasons. My friend actually told me to watch it. It's very creepy, but it's about money laundering. So if that's something you're interested in, please go check it out. It's basically about a family that works for a drug lord, and they don't want to die, so they keep listening to what he makes them do, and they hit a lot of hurdles along the way. And it's just like a family bonding type of thing. Don't watch it with your family. It's very inappropriate and scary and gory, but I actually really enjoyed it. Maybe that just says a lot about my taste, but I think it's a good show. Go watch it. It's called Ozark. There's 3 seasons of them on Netflix. The next show that I wanted to talk about was You. I know a lot of people have seen You, and if you don't know what You is, it's about a boy that's like, he used to be in Gossip Girl. He played Dan Humphrey in Gossip Girl, and he plays a character named Joe in this Netflix series called You, and I think there's like 2 seasons or 3, I can't remember, but he basically finds girls that he thinks are pretty, he stalks them, he ends up in their life somehow, and then he makes them fall in love with him, and then he traps them in a glass box. So that's pretty crazy. All these shows, I'm realizing when I say it out loud, like when I explain it to people, I realize how psycho I must sound, but I'm not like that, I promise. I just watch these things and they have nothing to do with who I am, okay? But You is very insane. I say you should watch it. I recommend. I remember watching it when I was in Florida, and I literally fell asleep while watching it with my friends, and I woke up and like there was blood on the screen and I was freaking out because it was literally like the middle of the night and I fell asleep because I was so exhausted. But go watch You. It's like a thriller. Most of these are thrillers because I either watch very thrilling shows that are scary and creepy and you don't know where they go, or I watch like Nicholas Sparks movies and I'll watch them like 15 times even though I know how they end and I know all the lines. So it's like a very varying taste. Another show that's really interesting that I just started last night is called Dairy Girls. It's about a bunch of girls that are friends. They're best friends. There's one boy, but they're all from this place in Ireland, so the people speak in a different accent, and so it was hard for me to understand at first, but after you start watching one episode you can't stop, so I just binged the whole season. A lot of words I didn't really understand. I think it's because it was like Irish slang or something, and I'm clearly not educated in that aspect, so I had no idea what they were saying, but it's very funny. It's very funny. So that's like one funny one. The rest are very dark and scary. Another show I recommend is more of like a docu-series, so a little bit like Waco, but this time instead of like a cult leader, it's about a investigation going on in India, in Delhi. I think Delhi is the capital of India, but basically it's about this police force that has to solve a crime, and it's really difficult because the whole country's mad about this thing because it was so serious and it was so like it was descriptive and graphic and so detailed that the press found out about it and everyone knew about it. It's called Delhi Crime. It's about this girl that got raped and the police had to figure out who did it, but turns out there was a bunch of people that were involved. It wasn't just one person, and it's not a fun show to watch, but it's very educational and it opens up your eyes to the horrors of the world, and you kind of realize that you live in a bubble and you're really lucky to not experience the things that a lot of people do on the daily. It opened my eyes. Like, I watched this before quarantine. I watched this when I went to India to visit my cousin, and she was telling me about it because she's really passionate about these kind of things, and she was talking about how the whole country was just like ready to fight someone. People were dying, people were protesting about this thing, and I feel like it's a very important social justice kind of thing that people don't really talk about over there. And so this show kind of tells you a little story of what was happening at the time when it happened and how it changed the lives of people that were involved. And so it's very gory and very graphic, and there's a lot of details, so if you're not into that, don't watch it. I wasn't into it, obviously. Like, it made me very uncomfortable, but I watched it because it gave me such insight into a world that I am not part of, you know, because I live here and I feel like so safe all the time. So it was a very interesting window to another world. Even though we all live in the same world, it's kind of important to remind ourselves that our world can be so drastically different from someone else's. And so that was a show that I recommend to people, even though it's very uncomfortable, because I feel like it's necessary to have uncomfortable conversations. I think that's how we move forward. So it's a very interesting show. Once you start, you won't be able to stop. It's half English, half Hindi, but I watch everything with subtitles anyway because I usually eat something while I'm watching. So just watch it if you're looking to educate yourselves, learn something more about another culture. I really recommend it. I want to recommend another docu-series type thing. It's called Tiger King. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this. Basically, it's about this man named Joe, and he's kind of crazy, but he has this charisma that just makes you want to have a conversation with him. And he has all these radical ideas, and you don't realize how crazy he is until you keep watching. And he has these enemies and people that he hates, and somehow he ends up in jail. And it's very I just want to say, like, it's very insightful. It's very creepy, in my opinion, to see people, like, basically Joe is the type of person, he loves like big animals, like zoo animals, and he has like a thing for cats and tigers especially. And people from like a wildlife perspective are like, oh, that's not safe, that's not healthy, and then turns out he's got all these friends that are involved in it, and it's very crazy. So go watch. It's called Tiger King. I have it on my phone right here, It's insane, it's graphic, it's very... You learn a lot about human beings when you watch docuseries, I think. You get like a little window into the mind of another being, and you see how they think and the decisions that they make, and it's very intriguing, I think. So go watch that. I just want to say that it's kind of embarrassing how many movies and TV shows I've seen, because all of the ones I'm recommending I've seen in the last at least 2 weeks, and that says a lot about how I'm spending my time. So, but lastly, I want to end off with a good one. This is a movie actually. It's called Goodfellas. It's on Netflix. It's kind of long because it's kind of old. So I feel like movies that are from, let me see how old this is. This is from 1990. So it's like 2 hours and 25 minutes. If you like movies like The Godfather and like Scarface, movies that involve a lot of drugs and violence and boys that wear suits, watch Goodfellas. Like these are, I really enjoy these movies. And basically Goodfellas is about a kid that grows up in New York. It's actually based on a true story, which was very interesting to me because we think of the mob lifestyle, or personally me, I have never witnessed anything like that in my real life. The only like violence I've seen is like on TV. And so to see that someone actually lived through that, someone actually was that, and someone actually ran a whole mob type situation and made money off of it and killed people, it's very like alarming to me. And also appealing at the same time, which we don't need to get into because that's just weird. But go watch it. It's called Goodfellas, and basically it's about a guy that grows up in New York and he gets involved with like the mob at a very young age, and he gets involved in violence, but his main goal was to make money and have respect, and he has that, and then he also has to go to jail. So that escalates pretty fast. If anything, this whole list has probably made you really worried for me and the things that I enjoy. But I promise, like, I'm not crazy just because I watch movies about like violence and guns and cops. They're actually very entertaining in my opinion. So I think I've given you a pretty solid list of things to focus your time on if you don't have anything else productive to do. Personally, I have a lot of things I should be doing. I have a lot of schoolwork that I need to finish, and I also have to clean my room. This is like, you're only seeing, literally you're seeing, I think like maybe 10 cubic feet of my room, just this wall, but like the rest is a mess, and so we need to get on that. But besides that, quarantine, I'm just staying at home literally. Haven't even left my house to get groceries in a while actually, because we're just getting our groceries shipped to our door using Instacart. I feel like I do a lot of retail therapy, and now it's quarantine and my mom's doing a lot of grocery therapy type, I guess that's what you would call it. Yeah, so maybe that's where I get it from. But I hope you guys are staying inside, staying safe. If you go outside, wear a mask for sure. Don't try to go do stupid things that can endanger yourself. Believe me, I'm 18, I know. But other than that, watch these shows. They're actually very good. I enjoy them thoroughly. And so go check them out. If you watch them, let me know what you think. And I will see you guys in my next video. Hopefully quarantine will be over soon. There's no end date on it as far as I can tell, because before it was March 30th, then it was April 15th, then it was April 30th, now it's May 15th. So I just think the best thing we can do is be to ourselves, stay at home. If you don't have Netflix, find a friend. One of your friends definitely has Netflix, I promise you. If they say they don't, they're lying. And maybe you need new friends, so figure that out. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!